I do think sales tax automation is sexy, and people think I'm crazy or took way too many hits to the head when I say that. If you are an organization that's dealing with manufacturing and distribution, or destination and origin states, or you just want to get your tax calculations a little bit more accurate, our platform brings that capability. I'm Nick Margot. I'm the Director of Strategic Alliance and Partner Channel Sales, which is a fancy way of saying that I manage our partner ecosystem specific to our Microsoft and accounting and some of the other verticals. But really glad to be here. And of course, we're always excited to partner with the Sales Tax Institute. If you're in the sales tax community, hopefully you've heard of us, but CereTax is one of the new kids on the block. I always like to say that we try to make sales tax automation look sexy over here. We're a new company with an old soul. Our two founders, both Mike and Brent, have kind of been there, done that. Both gentlemen have started up previous sales tax solutions and have sold them all. The last one that they sold off was very successful with Wolters Kluwer called CereTax. But realistically, late 2018, 2019, they weren't happy with the direction that their company was going. So they decided to break away and start a new organization, i.e. CereTax. So we've been around since early 2000s. We've focused on some specific industries and verticals, like, for instance, the communications industry, deregulated industry. And what we wanted to do is we wanted to tackle some of the more complex sales tax industries. And then that way we could backfill it with content for some of the easier, straightforward industries. I always tell customers, the two most important things that you always want to ask when you're looking at a tax automation tool is, do they integrate with your tech stack? So your back office accounting, your ERP, your e-com billing system, and then do they have a tax content? And I would say in our situation, most of the time that is yes, we can cover you on both of those areas. But sometimes that's not, and we'll be candidly honest. We don't want to waste the customer's time having them go through a real painful process of finding out that our solution doesn't work. So yeah, since we're new, we don't have all the integrations that, say, some of the bigger legacy platforms have out there. But what we don't have, we can offset with that white glove experience, as well as a very competitive price point. If you look at the history of the sales tax industry, it's gone through a lot of changes, and customers are looking for options more than anything. They're looking for alternative solutions and platforms out there. Now it gets kind of confusing. So where does CereTax fit into that space? Well, what we've tried to do is we've tried to surround our organization with some of the best and brightest subject matter experts in their field. The other thing that does make us somewhat unique is that I like to say our technology, our capability is a little bit more advanced. We bring what's called a GIS mapping capability. So most of the older legacy tax calculators are built off of that rooftop or zip code rate. And so from an accuracy standpoint, what you'll get is you'll get anywhere between like 92, 91% accuracy, whereas ours are closer to 98, 99% accuracy. We've developed shape files specifically to that taxing jurisdiction. So if you have a special jurisdiction in there, basically a school district or a remote area, we can basically identify tax down to a specific point. So two of the really big enhancements that we have is that embedded tax research. So when a customer calls and says, I'm going to dispute a tax rate that you provided or you charged us, you can look up that specific rate and that transaction, and it'll tell you the rule and rate and even take you to the state website. Those are great as far as customer disputes, but for a lot of your tax professionals, those are even better when you have an auditor paying you a visit questioning a specific tax rate that you charge. So, I tell people, better technology. Again, we try to provide some of the best customer service out there and transparency when it really comes down to pricing. Yes, I do. I'm excited about this. So we do have a current campaign right now going on with our partners. So a lot of our partners that are in the technology consulting space, what we are offering them is a complimentary ticket up to $500 for them and a guest to any concert, any sporting event, any performance of their choice. This could be a bucket list as far as a golf tournament, Super Bowl, World Series, you name it, we'll buy the ticket for you and send you to it. But for our guests, I'd like to make the offer of a 10% discount. If they are Sales Tax Institute providers and they're coming to CereTax between now and the end of the year, we will offer them a 10% discount off of their software rates. And that is savings that they can pass on to their organizations. So along with that competitive price, an additional 10% savings, it's only good between now and the end of the year, okay? And they have to reach out to their representative here at CereTax or myself, and I'm more than happy to put them in touch with the right resource. I'll leave you with the tagline. I do think sales tax automation is sexy, and people think I'm crazy or took way too many hits to the head when I say that. But an old mentor gave me this advice. He said, look, if you are driving some sort of revenue growth for an organization or helping them reduce risk, okay, they're going to be an application that they're going to want to talk to you about. And when I look at it, a sales tax calculator does exactly that. Companies that operate in more than 3, 4, 5 states, it's really difficult for them to go in and maintain their own tax tables. So buy a sales tax calculator. It may not be mine. I might have my feelings hurt. But what we really want is we want to basically help them automate that process and focus on more pending priorities within their accounting organization.